Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 4 of Aventino AT Essentials. For those who don't know me, I am Sam. I am the product specialist for ProStudy. ProStudy, for those who might be new to it, is a research, organising and referencing tool. It's a web app-based solution. So all students who use ProStudy log in online. They download the extension, and they can use that on any computer then, which is great because they can do it from home. They can do it on the school computers, anywhere they are. It's full part of our centralized approach to research that ProStudy likes to take. ProStudy is a tool where we can set a project out. So we have an assignment, we break that project down into manageable categories, and then we can start researching and have it as a place to collect all our research and all the different types of content of research we can get. We can easily put in with ProStudy. So I've skipped a few steps today just because we haven't got so much time. So I've set our project out already, and I've broken it down into the categories. I've done it really simple today. I've literally just put it into an introduction, methodology, and conclusion. But you add your project to the top there, and then you add your categories with the plus sign there. You can also move your categories around by dragging them and moving them if you want to change the order. You can always come back and add and change more categories. So ProStudy is all about being able to let the students collect their information, organize it, and be able to reference it accurately, because there's quite a few steps to that if you think about it. But we wanted to make it as simple as possible to get started. So I've collected one already, but I will show you the process. So once you set your project out, you can go over to your extension. I pin mine up to the top here as well. It makes it easier. You can do that just on the side there with the extension button. You've got your AT Essentials project there, but you can see a list of all of your projects that you can work on. You can easily switch between projects with ProStudy. And again, you can switch between them there and view them as well. So if you've got more than one assignment on at the same time, and that can be really useful too. But once you've got those two bits done, you're ready to start collecting, really. So you can start researching, finding some material, and start collecting it. So we try to make it as simple as possible to collect with ProStudy. So when you start researching, you find some material that interests you. Maybe it's a whole section that you're going to paraphrase. Maybe it's a quote that you're going to put directly into your assignment. Highlight it, right-click it, save that content to ProStudy. Because you've got the extension, you'll be able to see it there. And then you'll see your project that you've got there. You can also change this if you want to view more projects. I've just got it set to looking at one. I think that's very good for those who just want to stay or focus on the one task, don't want to get distracted by other assignments. This is the assignment I'm doing today. Maybe that would be good for perhaps ADHD, or maybe dyspraxic students who accidentally put them in the wrong category. You don't want a big list of projects there. So I'm going to put it in the introduction, and ProStudy collects that for me. And once that's gone in, that's great. So once that's been collected with ProStudy, you can go back if you want to. Go to your section, and it will update onto there. There we go. And we can see the latest one that I just took. I've taken two from the same page now. You can see I was doing it at 10 to 9 before we came up. But whenever you collect something with ProStudy, you get the text. And what it's doing is it's shortening the process, taking out the steps and making life easier for the student. Because we took the text, ProStudy took the title, it's took the date. If we go into information, we can see that it's also got the author. We've got a link back to the source. We've got a reference preview. All of that extra data has been taken for us, which is going to be really useful for making sure we've got good quality information for our assignment, and we can make a decent reference with it as well. If we didn't have any assistive technology, I think the steps would be quite a few. We'd have to kind of take what we're perhaps going to use, copy it, paste it onto a Word document. That's just a blank blob of text then. You need to go back, find what it was called, take a note of that, find the web address, take a note of that, finally wrote it, take a note of that. And, that's a lot of steps. That's a lot of chances to kind of slip up, especially when you're gathering a few different pieces, because you might then put the wrong title next to the wrong block of text or the wrong link. But because it's all within what we like to call the ProStudy research tile, even if you want to revisit the site, you just click the little www dot at the bottom, and it'll take you straight back to the source that you were collecting from before. It even highlights it in purple there as well, so you can revisit that too. And I think that's good because a lot of assignments you'll do over a long course of time, you might get set the assignment at the beginning of the semester, make a start on it. Other pieces start to catch up, maybe have shorter deadlines, so you prioritize those. But then when you come back to it, because you've set your project out, it's still there. You haven't lost it, wondered where you've saved it or something like that. You just go to ProStudy because it's your centralized approach. So yeah, grabbing text is very easy. We won't jump back to our project every time we collect something. We want to spend some time researching and finding material. Again, I'll find something useful. I'll right click, save that content to ProStudy, and then put it into whichever category I want it to go into. If it's an image, we can grab that. I can right click. I can save content to ProStudy, just exactly the same method as before. I'll put that into a different section. But I can just be in research mode now and go for that. Even if the content is something like a online PDF like this one, we're still not going to have any issues. We can right click, we can save content, and we can put that into any section we like as well. So that's what ProStudy is also very good for, all the different types of research you're going to get. You're going to get text from a web page, you're going to get images, particularly perhaps if you're doing a design course and you're making a portfolio of all your research material, or a photography course. We'll get PDF information. We'll even come across things like Google Books, which again now is another kind of not the best accessible piece of material. It might have the good content on there. We can't highlight and grab this one, so we can use one of the other tools built in ProStudy. So if I go into here, into the extension, I can use the screenshot tool and simply draw over the area that I'd like to take. I'll have that paragraph there, it looks good. Let it go. And again, it's getting that information, the title, the link. We can put it into a category, but we have a little OCR button down the bottom here, and that will turn that into accessible text for us really quickly. You can even add your own material there as well, add your own notes if you need to. You can still view projects with ProStudy, but you'll always need the extension to collect from there. Right, okay, we've done from a web page, we've done all these different sources here as well, but not all research is on the internet. Well, it might be stored on there, but it might be a hard copy that you end up with. So let's go back here. We can see everything we've been collecting so far is coming up nicely. Now, if we go into the files section, you can also collect from your downloaded material. So you can collect from your own notes you've made, lecture slides from presentations that you've attended. All these materials can be added in as well. So all we do is upload, we choose our files, we're going to put that into our AT Essentials project. Choose the files, PDFs, Word documents, PowerPoints, Excel files. These are the file types that ProStudy will let you capture from. So all those things I mentioned before, your own notes, lecture slides, reading material, perhaps papers that they've been giving you PDF formats. Once you choose, you can move as many as 10 at a time, but you just literally click upload, and then 1, 2, 3, it's already uploaded there as well. And we scroll down, there we go. All of our items are now here. And because it is a web-based app and you've put that into your ProStudy project, it'll mean that you can log in anywhere, and these are all going to be there. So that's great to download them somewhere else if you need them. But it also means that I can open them and capture from them as well. So if I wanted to go from a PowerPoint, I can open that. Because it opens up in the browser, and because I've got the extension, I'll go to a slide with some text on. I can highlight it and use the tool in the way I already know how, by selecting it, right-click, and save that content. Right, okay. That's showing all the different types of material we're collecting so far. But I just want to go on to some other extra tools that are very useful with ProStudy, particularly for students perhaps who might be dyslexic and getting a bit fatigued when it comes to the research process. I think those students with dyslexia might get fatigued from reading, and if we have found some material that we want, perhaps we've found a page, we don't want to read this all yet, and it's been a bit late, so I've kind of reached the peak of my reading ability for today, but I need to come back to this. So we have the very handy bookmarking tool. So you can go onto the extension, you can click the bookmark, and then that bookmarks that page for us. And I know we have bookmarks on web browsers as well, but this is directly to our AT Essentials project. I can go to another page, I can quickly make a reading list of all my materials on here, so I can bookmark that one as well. and I'll bookmark this one too. This means that I don't have to have loads of tabs open. So again, I know students end up when they're researching, they like to keep everything they're working on open all the time. I used to see it all the time as an AT trainer. The tabs would be so tiny. And it's because they're kind of almost scared of losing that material. It's quite hard to find research sometimes when you've been link hopping and clicking, using the right key phrases to search from. So you want to get that. So easily save your bookmarks for ProStudy. And then if you go over back into your ProStudy online page, you can go to your bookmarks and you can see your list is developing there as well. And then you can open these whenever you want. So that's a really handy tool for the students. Another great tool, again, might come to fatigued reading, and maybe as perhaps with ADHD as well, is because there's a few uses. This is the auto tiles feature. So the auto tiles feature is a very powerful tool in ProStudy that allows us to analyze the page and collects highlights and turns them into research tiles for us. We can then decide what tiles we like. So again, if you've perhaps on the edge of your research, if you weren't sure if this page was something that you wanted to spend the next half an hour reading, because there's a lot of text there, what we can do is go into the extension. We can use the auto tiles function. I'll put this in the conclusion and hit the auto tiles button. What I like about this is also it takes the busyness away from the web page, takes any banners, any adverts, any menus out of the way. It'll put any images from the page that you might need to use at the beginning as well. And then what it does is it breaks it down into short, sharp statements that are easy to read and are quick. And what it also does as well is it gives you a ranking. If anything's particularly good, it will highlight that already. So again, if you are reaching that fatigueness of reading, you can start reading the highlighted ones first. So there we go. In this article, we're going to take a close look at the 5 large-scale psychology theories. There we go. I know this article is looking like it could be quite good. Collection of these theories, or grand theories, are the ideas proposed and shaped by major thinkers. And there we go. We've got Freud mentioned in there. And it started to give me highlights of the page. So these are a lot easier to read than reading large blocks of text. And if I want them, I can have them all as research tiles as well. So I can then untick ones I don't like, and I can go through all of the highlights that we've got there. And then I can either decide to read the article and collect bits I want, or I might even just be happy with these. I might want to use these in my assignment, so I can put them as research tiles and hit save, and then they get added to my project as well, which is great. Okay, cool. They will all obviously end up in our AT Essentials section. I'm going to show you another way of using ProStudy as well in the last 5 minutes or so. We've very much focused on collecting all of our information today, and we can do that through our phones as well with the really handy Project Assist app. Project Assist app comes to everybody who gets ProStudy. Everyone who gets ProStudy on DSA gets a 5-year license as well, or a course log license, which we can always extend. What is great about it means that we can have it on Apple or Android. You can start new projects directly on your phone. So if you do field work, that's really handy. Also, you can go to your existing projects. You can view them. I'll sync this up really quickly. It does have an auto-sync function, but when you're doing a live demonstration, it only does it a couple of times an hour. So it's just a manual one. We'll always get your projects there. So there we go. We can see AT Essentials down the bottom. And we've got all our categories there. We can go into each section. We can see everything that we've collected so far. You can even click the links or revisit the website. So again, if you're commuting, or if you want to perhaps use this as a revision tool, you can revise from all the research tiles that you've made. So we can view the web page again, which is great. But we can also capture from it as well. I'm not showing all the features today of everything because we're doing essentials and short, sharp sessions. But I'm going to show you my favorite one, which is one you can use in the library, where we can take pictures with our phone. Can switch that around so it's not showing my face. So a student could be in a library, find a textbook that's useful to them, grab a page, take a picture of that page, and then click OK. So this again is some hard copy research that they found they want for their assignments. We can have that OCR, so again making that text accessible to the student. What we can also do, because it's all about obviously having really good quality research, is we can scan the barcode and get the reference and information as well. So I'm going to scan the barcode, use the camera again, flip the book around, and then it gets that almost instantaneous. We've got a large database that's all connected to, and you can even see the cover of the book, the title, the author. We can even add the date into there as well if we want to. And that reference information is attached to that text that we grabbed. So all we've got left to do is to save that, and then that gets added to the project as well, which means once we log back into our web browser, that item is also into there as well, and we can sync that up on the top. So that feature I love, because you can go to the library, don't have to take the book out, you don't have to get fined if students are concerned about owning property that's not theirs, if they have anxieties around that. If they lose a lot of objects and items, then obviously they're not having to take that book out, or haven't got to get fines. And I've had another question: is the Project Assist featured in the Access to Work version of Pro Study, which is Pro Workspace? And the answer to that is yes, it is. So there we go. That's good. For those who don't know, we do have a workplace version as well called Pro Workspace, and we have obviously Pro Study, which we're looking at now. With your research tiles, I know we've got a couple of minutes left. Obviously, the product starts to grow. Let me just refresh this and add up any updated images, and we'll go to the research section. We can organize our tiles. We can view our tiles differently if we need to. We can arrange them as well. So there we go. We've now got lots in our collection. We can see all the ones in here. They are untagged, but you can create tags by going into info. If you've got a particularly important one, you can create that as a tag if you need. Hit that as save, and that can further organize your sections. You can also pin really particularly useful ones at the top as well. And you can also add comments to your research tiles as well. So maybe this is going to be used. We're in the introduction, aren't we? So use in opening statement. There we go. And then that will be a little comments that should be attached to that research tile. You could even add little emojis on there as well, which is good. You could change the view as well. I've got it kind of on a 3-tile view, but if I use Control and Plus, I can zoom in. And again, that's very good for perhaps more visually impaired students. If you use visually impaired software that's compatible with Chrome, it'd be compatible with Pro Study. I've had another question as well, and if you install the app on more than one device, yes, you can. You can have that on multiple phones or an iPad as well. If you've got multiple materials, you can use your same login details that you do to log in. So yeah, another good question there. Right, okay, so we're getting towards the end. We're not going to export this one because we are running a little bit out of time. But I have done a bit of a Blue Peter moment to see what I've done earlier. But there's always a time when it comes to research that you're going to leave the end. You're going to move on to the next stage of the process. You want all your research that you've got with Pro Study to kind of come with you. So there is an export button just there, and you've got your references button there with over 9,500 referencing styles. So you can pick your institution style in there, or your particular style if it's APA or Harvard, and then you can make and Pro Study will make a report for you. So this is a demo project. This comes with all the licenses as well. If people want to demonstrate Pro Study, they can use the demo project that's already built in, and that's got research tiles that are already there as well, which is good. We have a table of contents of all of the captures. We then can go straight into the whole section. And because it's made your categories, they'll be color-coded, and you can even use your navigation tool in Word to go to your sections. And each research tile now becomes a nice paragraph of the text, the link, the date and time. Your notes will be on the side. That one proves my theory for essay, uses a key quote. I've got that as a reminder. I've got all this material to build up. I can go through any images. They'll also be there as well. There we go. We've got images that were captured as well. Our research tiles will be there too, and it notes you that they've been there as well. Your bookmark list, you can have that. It's not a nasty long list of URLs. They're nice and clean. You just hold Control and click and open them up. And then the best bit is you get your bibliography at the end, which is alphabetized in your style, in the order that you want it to be in. So those were the essentials to Pro Study.